So there we go. Islam, Islam, Islam. We live and we on the manifest, Morris Ken. Let me now call in on this other line so y'all can hear me. And that's the last portion here. Let's see here. And we can get started with this demonstration. Trust me, it'll be worth the wait. Okay. Let's see. 9. Okay. 7, 4, 6. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. 80. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Call me. Oh, man. That ain't good.
Please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash. If you do not know your PIN, please enter pound or hash. Your input is invalid. You entered 8110.
Okay, Islam. Can you hear me, family? Let me make sure y'all can hear me on this side. I just hung up the other line. *6 your phone and let me know if you hear me, Morris Ken. Uh-oh. Can anybody hear me? Okay. We know what we need to do then. Okay, can you hear me, Morris Ken? Okay, can you hear me, sister? Sister Curtis Bay? Can you hear me, Sister Curtis Bay? Islam. Can anybody hear me? In the world is going on here? Can any of the Moorish Americans hear me? Okay. Can you hear me, Sister Curtis Bay? Okay. Okay, well, gratitude. I'm finna share the sound now. I'm sorry about that, Morris Ken. I gotta share the link to this sound, and that's it. We good. I just want to make sure you heard me. Okay, they was hearing me already through the Facebook. We already know they can hear me. So gratitude, goddess, for your aid and assistance. Let me share this sound so that y'all can hear as well. Okay, let's see here. There we go. All right, fam. We apologize for the delay, but we're gonna make it happen. The devil is a lie, and Rome is too. So Islam again, Moorish America want to rise upon the seven within the circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag, Divine Constitution, and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything, and I do mean everything, that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. This is a powerful, powerful drawing that we had to bring on the manifest, coming forth from our chapter as it relates to Yeshoshua revealing to the people their sinful ways. You know, nothing can be further from the truth when it comes to dealing with those who have thought that our sinful ways can be redeemed, so to speak, or we can be redeemed from them by the shedding of blood, of another one of our fellow men, Yehoshua. That's how they taught us. We know better. We know that there's no redemption in the shedding of blood and trying to make somebody else a sacrificial lamb. So Yehoshua came to reveal to the people they sinful ways. That means that we got to hold ourselves accountable, for our own ways, acts, and deeds, and stop looking for a scapegoat, to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves. Islam. So make no mistake about it, family. We here to do the work and do what it is that there's so many powerful ayats in this chapter too, by the way. But this one, if we notice, the ayat prior to that, Yehoshua said, the holy breath cannot be seen with mortal eyes, nor can men see the spirits of the Holy One. Now, this should take us right back to the question in our questionnaire. Can we see him? No. Where's the nearest place we can meet him? In the heart. So this ayat is in direct connection to the measure as it relates to knowing who made us. But then it comes behind that, it says, but in their image. Who is the there? But in their image, man was made. Now we know man was made in the image of the Elohim. Man was made in the great God Allah. It depends on which man that we're referring to, because we know that the physical man was made by the Elohim, but we know spirit man, came forth from the heart of Allah. Spirit man, which some people give many names. They call him the primordial man. They call him Adam Cod man, the primus man, the first man, the original man. Many different titles one has received. But in all actuality, spirit man, as it's referred to in our Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 1, this is the grand drawing. Spirit man. But notice it says, and all the people again, well, actually it says, Yehoshua said, the holy breath cannot be seen with mortal eyes, nor can man see the spirits of the Holy One. So the holy breath is really talking about spirit man. Spirit man can't be seen with the mortal eye, but the spirits of the Holy One, spirit man or holy breath, is in the midst of that. Make no mistakes about it. Holy breath and spirit man is the same thing. Because Allah breathed forth and the seven came forth. And man was in the midst of the seven. Y'all heard me talk about that recently when we broke down the E, L, O, and M and we put the who or the he there. That's it right there. The created spirits in the realm of Elohim, the ELO, and the he is the Holy One. It is the holy breath. The Holy One is Allah. The holy breath is spirit man. In the midst of those seven, Allah is leading on. And I tell you about those, the workings, where it is the great God, that is using these vessels to work through. So when it says made in their image, man is made in the image of the holy breath. Is not the holy breath the same as truth? Is not the truth said to be Allah, there it is. Another aspect attaching to our Moorish Holy Quran. A lot of this whole chapter right here is intact with a lot of the main questions in our Moorish Holy Quran. This particular chapter right here, if we can go through it, there are a lot of these questions that connect to the actual questions and answers in our Moorish 101s. So, yeah, this is a grand drawing, family. So when it says again, but in their image man was made, again, it's speaking of holy breath and it's speaking of the Holy One. Because remember, physical man was made in the image of the Elohim, and the spirit man was made in the image of the great God Allah. We got to know the difference between spirit man and physical man. Spirit man is a thought of Allah made manifest in human flesh. Spirit man didn't come through means of, sexual intercourse and, worldly means. That came with the physical, and even the first physical, again, was a thought manifested in the human flesh. He didn't have an earthly mother or earthly father when we deal with spirit man. It was when this thought was manifested in human flesh, so to speak. And then it is said that a woman, was demarcated, separated, so to speak, from the man when it comes to the physical aspect. So to the brothers, you that have been tricked, the mother goddess, gave birth. No, it's actually the other way around. If we really looked at the context in which the scripture states, because the scriptures say man was created and woman came forth from his rib, if you want to look at it from that aspect. Then when we get into the physical, and it really has to do more with the marrow in the bone as opposed to the rib itself. See, when people think of the rib, it's hard to comprehend man being created from a rib, but it's really the sustenance that's in the rib, that was created, and made up in order for life itself to be produced. And blood is attached to what we would call a DNA link. It's not the solid bone itself, you see, but the bone was present, after the blood, was brought forth, and then there was a building process, to bring forth from the blood, different aspects of the body. For example, when we can even see that in the sign, and when the seed is planted, and it grows apace, it's planted as a seed. There's no hard calcium-like substance that's on the manifest at that time. All of this comes as the body matures, as the body grows. But nevertheless, when this physical body was made, it was made in a way that the physical man would be able to use carnal acts, so to speak, in order to, we can say, somewhat duplicate the process of being creators. And it takes the man and the woman to produce from that aspect. But when we go back to the original state and we deal with the Elohim itself, we're talking about a thought made manifest. And let's keep that in mind when we talk about the thought, because the thought is the main aspect. That's that supreme reality, or the grand architect, so to speak, of creation, the great God. But in their image, man was made. So if we made in the image of holy breath, let's think about that. Who made you? Holy breath is good. Ain't nothing bad about holy breath. Holy breath allow you to be able to cross the border, land at will. Holy breath allow you to become flesh divine. Spirit man, i.e., right? Flesh divine. Spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. Ain't nothing that got to do with the manifest. Even when we say spirit clothed with soul, we know the soul, is also another limited aspect. We're talking about thinking, reason, one understanding, remembrance, the actions of the soul. Holy breath, will dictate to the actions of the soul when we demonstrate from a higher self. Remember, the higher self is spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah, but yet it is also the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life. So there is no gender war when it comes to dealing with spirit. We know that this is speaking of Ish and Isha. There is no conflict between the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine, and the duality, that people end up falling into later on down the line. The only reason one think on a vibration like that is because the will has been made sluggish by a Romanized thought pattern, that has been, we can actually say, a reprogramming, so to speak, of the original way that we can think. They can't stop the divinity in you, but there's been a short circuiting that has taking place in our mental Rolodex, as our brother Bati Bey would say. And that short circuiting is the reason why Prophet Noble Drew Ali said he came to mend the broken wires and connect them back to the higher powers. You see? What are the higher powers? Holy breath, spirit of the Holy One. If that ain't power, then what is? We talked about power being an illusion. We know about the original chapter that we was dealing with prior to this. We were dealing with lamas. And this again deals with man being able to think. If the prophet said if he can get us to thinking, then we will save ourselves. You ain't got to save the higher self. The higher self is what it is. We got to save ourselves from the lower self. And all of us have that. You see? Because we in the manifest. Thank Adam and Eve for that. Not Adam and Steve, because they don't make nothing. Ain't no life coming up out of Adam and Steve. So we ain't even going there. So look at it. But in their image, man was made. It should be plain now. He who looks into the face of man, he who looks into the face of a master of Allah's nature, M-A-N, master of Allah's nature. That's just an acronym. He who looks into the face of a Moorish American national, because a Moorish American national is a master of all nature. Didn't the great God Allah say in the Grand Quran that he taught Adam the nature of things? See, they say in the Piscean records he taught him the names, but nature, and name, these are two different degrees. You see, you can name a thing, name what a thing is, but do you know the nature of a thing? You can name, for example, a lion, but what is the nature of the lion? You can name the hawk a hawk, but what is the nature of the hawk? You can name, the falcon a falcon, or, the ox a ox. You can name man, but what is the nature of these things in creation? See, that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. The nature, or did I say the netter in ancient Kemet? See, in ancient Kemet, this is what our ancestors understood. They understood the nature of things. Everything was a thought, a manifest of a living thought. We've been harping upon that lately. And Allah don't make no dirty thoughts. Allah ain't got no dirty thoughts. All that came with the manifest. Make no mistake about it. You find yourself hating somebody or thinking on the manifest, where you want to get retaliatory or whatever the case may be, that didn't come from Allah. That ain't a thought of the highest self. You get the feeling some type of way you want to be reactionary. That didn't come from Allah, but the flesh of man. That's why it says in the Piscean record, the draw. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality and spiritual wickedness in high places. That in which I'm willing to do, I'm unable to do. The flesh, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. This is the thing that they've been preaching to our people for years, but they don't really know the real meaning behind that. You got to be a more scientist. You got to be a scientist to know the meaning behind what that really was said. It sounds good too. Our people love to quote it, right? But when you know better, you do better. So thus it says, he who looks into the face of man. We ain't talking about just brothers. Put an S on that and you'll get she too. Looks at the image of the Allah who speaks within. So if this is the look at the image of the Allah who speaks within, speak within what? The arm, leg, arm, head. If this is the image of Allah who speak within, then it's actually saying there's a difference between your thought of God being outside of yourself and God being within the self. Remember, spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. And you can see this being expressed in your flag. What is symbolic to the soul and the soul actions? Remember, thinking, willing, reason, understanding, remembrance, right? But when we go into the aspect, of the quadrants, justice, mercy, love, and right. Those are the highest degrees of the soul actions that are in conjunction with thinking, willing, reason, understanding, remember. So these are your 4 quadrants. Justice, mercy, love, and right. Now when your selves are being dictated by that, then you already know your soul actions are in line. You can deal with some reentry because you add justice, mercy, love, and right, to, the ability to think, will, reason, understand, and remember, then you can rebirth yourself. You can come through the gateway of reentry because that's 5 and 4, that's 9. But going into the essence of this, spirit clothed with soul, and then within that made, clothed with soul, right? Made in the form of Allah. That's your 5-pointed open green star. When you love truth, peace, freedom, and justice, you is the higher self. And it's the same when we go to our Grand National Seal, Grand National Emblem. They are still expressing different degrees of spirits clothing the soul. Let's see it. We can see holy breath in the flag. The holy breath represent the principles. The scimitar represent those principles in action because justice is taking its course. That's what Prophet Noble Drew Ali said. When these principles are violated, justice must take its course. But we also know that when we go into chapter 1, we also know that we have found, in fact, that the star is synonymous, with that of cherubim, and the scimitar, the star is synonymous with that of seraphim, and the scimitar is synonymous with that of cherubim. So that's cherubim and seraphim. Why? Because the cherubim represent protection. So you stand in defense with your scimitar as a protector, just as the cherub did in the Piscean records, in the garden. So when we go into the star represents what the seraphim represents, the spirit of the Almighty God, Allah, the image of Allah who speaks within. I'm trying to show you how these things are active and not passive within us. So you have cherubim and seraphim working, within that special circle, that unbroken circle of justice, mercy, love, and right. And so when we go into it from that aspect, now we understand, even right here, the holy breath and the spirits of the Holy One. Now we can understand and comprehend also the 7 that is within our Grand National Seal. The 7 Elohim, the 7 sages of the ages, the 7 postulates of law. You see, all of these things. 7 eyes of Allah, or the 7 Ahlu, as they call it in the ancient Comedian language. That's A, capital A, lowercase a, and H, Ah, or Aya, so to speak. And sometimes it's L-A. So it's Ahlu and Allah, but the vowels are interchangeable. The 7 Allah, the 7 eyes of Allah. So in other words, this is your Grand National Seal. And your Grand National Emblem, the crescent and star, this actually represents that re-entry, the birth way of the principles. So if we were to put these things on the manifest as creation would come into being in the order in which they would actually come forth, if we were looking at, the banners, we would actually see that the 7, represents the 7 within our Grand National Seal. That's, your Elohim and everything else. Same way the Elohim was able to birth man, we, the 7 postulates here, were able to birth Moorish American nationals through reentry in the Moorish American government. We came as a spirit. We come in the manifest. We came with law. Law govern all events, on all planes, within the ethers of every plane. As it is above, so it is below. As it is within, so it is without. Within the macrocosm it is, so it is within the microcosm. The macrocosm is the universe, the microcosm is man. So those seven will breathe forth. We can see that. That's what these things represent. Take them not for granted, family. Your grand national seal. And then again, the banner or the flag, the first banner was man himself. It was a white clad banner, in the beginning. White mean purity, purity mean God, God mean the rule of the land. So this represented your existence of being Lord of the plane of soul and Lord of the plane of things made manifest. Our banner didn't become red until we reached the rate of the atmosphere in our thought pattern. We begin to think along the line of the sluggish wheel. We fail in our head. See, a lot of people don't know. That's what Adam, a damned man, damnation, so to speak. That's where he fell. He fell in his head. And then we have, after that, the birthing process, which was one of our grandest symbols to be revealed in our grand national emblem, the crescent and the star. So now that the Elohim has manifested, a fleshly body or a vehicle, these principles, a divine consciousness can be deposited in man. This is what a spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah take place. Spirit clothed with soul is Allah in man. To be made in the form of Allah is to be arm, leg, arm, head. Alif, lam, alif, ha in the Arabic. You see? Let's go a little further now. Now that this is done in the essence of Ish and Isha, our true mothers and fathers, is there in the essence of spirit man and spirit woman. There is no gender. Genderless seed has been planted within the soil of soul that it may grow apace. Now we can move from this special level and, like I say, come through the realm of re-entry. That's why the star is seen again. This time you coming from the God power, and the crescent, as it represents, is symbolic, to the cycle of the woman on the manifest. But also the crescent, going through its process of waning and waning, so to speak, and we go into the different cycles, various cycles of the moon, in the process of birth, and we deal with 9 months, and this is the re-entry. Every time one of our seeds are born in this era and time, they are the return of the ancient ones. So that's the symbolic measure dealing with our grand national emblem. We see salvation. All of us had to come through these special ways, just like our prophet did. And these things also, when arranged in such a way as to take us back, you put the salvation there out front, our God, which is symbolic to our flag, and then unity, which is symbolic to us being a nation, 3rd and 4th generation. They're going to see the good of the word. 4 and 3 is 7. So if you were to place those emblems going from left to right, it would be as if one, if you place them before you or display them before you, if we're looking at it as a journey on a compass, one would be traveling back eastward. And we know eastward to us represent that which is within. Hence, then go back to our ayat. Remember now, ayat 9 say the holy breath cannot be seen with mortal eye. Can we see it? No. Where's the nearest place we can meet him? In the heart. This ain't the blood pumping organ. Consciousness. But in their image, man was made. Their image. Now you would have thought he was talking about people if you didn't really home into what was really being said in the ayat prior to that. This was talking about holy breath and the spirits of the Holy One. That's the image in which you were made in essence, so to speak, when it comes to spirit, man. But they combine them together to show you where the fleshly aspect come from, Elohim, and the holy breath, which is the great God. But all of that belongs, come forth, emanates from the supreme reality and his divine thought. And again, these thoughts are not dirty. So now, if we were to go up a few ayats, it all makes sense when it says, when man, the Moorish American national, the master of Allah's nature, when man honors man, he honors Allah. And what man does for man, he does for Allah. So if there's a situation to where you don't want to honor your grand national seal, your grand national emblem, your national flag, your prophet, your government, your officials, then you don't honor Allah. If you have it in you to where you don't want to honor doing things for your Moorish American nationals, then you don't honor doing anything for Allah. That's a powerful situation and real dangerous too, to be treading in that particular measure. Because when you think that, you're going to be demonstrating niggardly, as they call it in the Grand Quran, against man, so to speak, because you're looking at man and what you feel like you don't want to do for man, you actually going in opposition to Allah. And the same thing, again, when you don't want to honor even your higher self. Remember, the higher self is Allah. Spirit clothed with soul, made in the form of Allah. The most perfect example of that is Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And it says, and you must bear in mind, bear in mind, be a thinker now, when man, the Moorish American national, harms in thought, master of Allah's nature, or word, or deed, another man, he does wrong to Allah. So you ain't heard nobody else about thinking crazy, like you do, being in opposition and think you bucking against, your government or your officials and a particular Moorish national that you don't like for whatever reason. You don't like the way they think or what they say, or it make you feel some type of way, rub you the wrong way. You harming Allah. Listen, it say, if you would serve the Allah who speaks within the heart, and just serve your near kin and those that are no kin. That's a clause. It didn't just say serve your near kin and all that. Now we know we are told to prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. Don't get me wrong. But you got to serve your nearest kin as well as those who are not kin. In other words, we got to demonstrate what we call our purest love. When one is full of love, you don't even have to worry about living by laws of that which was established in the Ten Commandments. You full of love, then you in the right spot, because love is the spirit. Love is the thought, the love thought. Remember, love is the highest within the principles of the star. Listen, it says, the stranger at your gates. Oh man, it's giving it to you. Your nearest kin, those who are no kin, the strangers at your gates. Oh, this is the last one right here. Listen to this. The foe who seeks to do you harm. You got to be able to say, brother, even in that case. When you know somebody mean you no good, they mean you harm, you got to have your purest love out front. Don't mean that it's going to change anything about you receiving tests. And ain't nothing going to come your way. Because you do this, it's our duty to do it. Because we're not looking for any rewards from man. We're not looking for any accolades from man or what man thinks of us, what their thought is. We know the great God Allah is looking. We know that the ancestors and the chiefs on high, the exalted assembly, are bearing witness to us. Listen now, it goes on. Because we done made it plain. Now, it don't get no plainer than this. We can't put the responsibility on nobody else after this, right? Assist the poor and help the weak. Oh, it ain't stop there. Assist the poor and help the weak. It didn't tell you say to go to gossiping about somebody that you thought was poor or less wealthier than you. And that don't necessarily mean wealth that you have physically. Somebody that may be less wealthy in knowledge than you, somebody that you consider poor in knowledge than you. It didn't say, oh man. But it goes on and says, and help the weak. So if you see somebody in a state of weakness, you don't weaponize the weakness and try to use the weakness against the individual to justify what it is that you chose to do, or that you want to do to one, the way you want to treat somebody. You don't do that. It says, do harm to none. Now, one of the highest aspects of unfolding in the 3-step ladder in the Grand Quran, because there are a couple of them that are mentioned. Doing no harm to one whose Islam, does not harm one, in ways, acts, or deeds, in the tongue or whatever. You see? Hold on real quick. Let me make sure that our family can hear this. Like I said, this is what we own now, family. We trying to show you how this thing is active. Because the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, which is comedically known as harmony, truth, balance, right, order, and justice, these are not passive principles. These are active principles. They are as active as they were in the beginning of creation as they are now. This is why we are instructed to link our will up with the deific will. So it's different when you are a Muslim as opposed to being just a Muslim. Nothing wrong with being a Muslim, one who submitted to the will or submits to the will. But when you become a Muslim, you become the will. That's the whole goal. So, I see what's going on here. Give me 1 second, family. Pardon self. Let me make this call again, family. I see what Rome done did. Bear with me.
Welcome, and thank you for choosing free conference call.
Putting too much truth out there in the ethers. Let's see.
Access code or phone number you have dialed. Please enter the meeting password. Muted. The recording has started.
Okay, so let me, we got you, family. We got y'all back on here on the conference call, pardon self. And I'll *6 your phone too, family, so we don't get no feedback. And let me, I'm going to reshare this. Putting so much out there wrong, say, no, we got to put a stop to this. Okay. Somebody got their line over on the conference call. *6 your phone, family. Okay. So we're going to share the sound again. We're going to pick up where we left off at. Let me see here. I want to make sure I got this up here. Because we really want to make this plain. All right. There we go. Okay. There we go. So we know our family can hear us now on the conference call. Okay. So, following up. Hold on real quick. Let me make sure. Okay. Uh-oh. Let me make sure. Let me unmute over here.
Unmuted.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Gratitude, Morris King. All right, so yeah, there we go. So now that we're going back over this here in essence, um, but it says also covet not what is yours. And that's something that we had a problem with in the West. We have been without so long. We have been at the bottom of this society for so long. We have been the have-nots in other people's eyes for so long, to where a spirit of covetousness has become a part of the very fabric of our thinking. You see, so we got to unravel that, and reweave, so to speak, a celestial cloth. Yeah, we know that. We got to replace that old banner. The old banner is worn out. And new garbs, we got to produce when it comes to our thought pattern. Remember, spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah. That's a grand garb. If you think in willing reason, understanding, remembering along the line of, the higher self when it comes to actions of the soul. But if your mind and your heart and your consciousness has become garbed, in that which is not of the higher self, then you already know. That ain't a garb that you want to go out sashaying around in. So, on another measure, after all of that, the duties that we are told to demonstrate, and we should want to demonstrate that. We should want to, serve Allah who speak within the consciousness of the heart. Serve your nearest kin. Those are no kin, the strange at your gates, the foe who seeks you do you harm. You got to love your enemy, as they say it, right? Assist the poor. It didn't say let your enemy take advantage of you. We'll drop the world on something like the prophet said. It says assist the poor, help the weak, do harm to none. Covet not what is not yours. Stop being jealous and envious of your brother and sister for the talents, for the abundance, for the blessings that the great God Allah gave them, because what's for them is for them. What's for you is for you. And you got the same 25 and 7 hours in a day as your brother or sister. So what you hating for? What you being envious for? It ain't their fault that you chose not to exert yourself. It ain't the fault of another brother and sister that you find yourself in a particular plight. So you want to blame them. Some people go so far as I'll take them off the count before I let them live in abundance. My hatred run that deep. Before I allow you, brother or sister, and in their mind, they go, oh, he's stunned on me. He think he better than me. She think she better than me. Before I allow it to happen, I'll take him off the count. I'll take off the count. If I can't have it, nobody can. Terrible thought. But that is a process in thought that has been bred in Rome. What did the prophet call it? Hatred, lewdness, murder. Well, hatred, lewdness, slander, murder, theft, and everything that harms. Who bred us in that thought pattern? Rome. But your nature, remember I was talking to you earlier, Adam was taught the nature of things. The nature has to do with attributes. The attributes are referred to in chapter 1. We hear about the 99 attributes of what is called the Al-Asma wa Sifa. In the Arabic, that means the most beautiful names. And that's just 99. That ain't all of them. One, the great God Allah kept for himself. That was his mercy, which comes from the root of the womb, which is Aram. Rahman and Rahim come from the same root. Most gracious, most merciful. Grace and mercy are two sides of the same coin when you're dealing with divinity. And that's what we should be able to demonstrate. Be graceful in our attitudes, be grateful, gratitude, right? And be merciful in all our ways, acts, and deeds. Show some mercy and receive some mercy. So, man, this is a powerful thing, and this is a powerful thing, family. Once we understand this here, we know there's no need to be trying to make nobody no living sacrifice, making nobody no sacrifice, being sacrificial lambs, and you got to sacrifice basically upon the hearts of the people, when it comes to basically putting that love out front. Tear down all the idol shrine. Burn your sacrifices with the fire of love, and all the people, will then be entranced and worship you as a deity, but you don't do that. Now I'm your brother. Man. I know it's rare to see a real God man on the manifest. Moorish American. I know it's rare to see a real God woman on, but don't worship me. Worship Allah, your creator. And that's the grand idea that precludes to monotheism. There are different degrees of monotheism. Monotheism that deal with, different aspects of what we call Tawheed. Tawheed at the root, the word Wahid is there. We say Allah is one, or Had, or Had. In the Grand Quran it says, Kul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. He is Allah. Say He is Allah, the one and only, the eternally besought of all. He begetteth not, nor is He begat, and there is none comparable unto Him. In the Piscean records it said, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. But what they fail to realize in proclaiming the great God Allah is one, they fail to realize that we are one with Him in our deific tie. We have to get to the point to where when we see any action that is brought forth that is good for us, because Allah only intends good for us. Grand Quran say all evil, it comes to us, it comes from ourselves. And we know that ain't the higher self, it's the lower self. The higher self is always there for guidance, to guide us back on the path. It says we were created in the best of modes, but yet we abase ourselves to the lowest of the low. What is the best of yourself if it's not spirit clothed with soul made in the form of Allah, the higher self? How do you become base to the base to the lowest of the low? Chapter 1 tell you, man fell from that higher self, from being spirit man, into the carnal thought pattern because he chose to gratify his lower self. This is why you can't blame Allah for giving you free will, because some of our people want to blame the great God Allah. If He knew all this temptation out here, why He put it out here for me and give me a will and tell me, to abstain from this? You don't ask Allah who is that demands a test. You can ask man that, but you don't ask Allah. Don't get that bold. Who is it that demands a test, Allah? You put this temptation out here for me. And now you will blame me because I have went astray and I have sinned. So I need someone to be a scapegoat. I need an excuse to continue doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to use my brother Yeshoshua as a fig leaf to cover up all my misdeeds. Terrible. And we find this now. If they can't do it with Yeshoshua, we got our people that want you to bear that burden. Go through life hard-headed, stiff-necked, mean, and rebellious now. Bucket. I'm going to do it my way. I'm a grown man. I'm a woman. You don't tell me what to do. And then as soon as a situation comes that's, hard, that you feel like you can't find your way out of, now all of a sudden, you want somebody else to bear your burden. You're looking for a scapegoat. You're looking for a Yeshoshua in your brother or your sister. And if they don't want to become that, if they tell you it's your responsibility to save yourself, oh, she thinks she better than me. We all have sinned. We all fell short of the glory. Oh man. If I'm, stepping on some toes, I that ain't my intention, family. I'm just trying to speak the truth. So don't get mad and go to throwing no tomatoes at me. You see? Duck, duck Shahid, So we give honors to your family. This is a powerful droid when we go back to the essence of what we're talking about in our subject matter here. Understanding this demonstration. But in their image, man was made. And he who looks into the face of man looks at the image of the Allah who speaks within. Now we know, it's many ways that the great God Allah speak to man. We know he speak to man through man. In the Grand Quran, it says he speaks to man by sending messengers, angels. He speaks to him by signs and symbols. Our ancient ancestors of Kemet understood this world and engraved or put sacred impressions in stone in relation to dealing with that. Pictures worth 1,000 words. So we learn how to read the book of creation. But the great God Allah also, again, speaks to man from behind a veil. It be certain conditions that we come through. Certain lessons and blessings, so to speak, where the great God Allah is speaking to us, not as you hear me speaking now, but in a voice of silence. But in order for you to hear, you got to be still. You got to let the peace be still. And once you're in a peaceful state of mind, then you can hear that silent voice that speak within, crying out in your wilderness. Islam? Yeah, this is a powerful demonstration. A lot of our people don't know that when it speaks of the halls of Amenti in ancient Kemet, and it refers to it as the underworld, people think that this is dealing with something under the earth. But dig as you want to, deep as you want to, and go into the crust, the earth, and you ain't gonna find, the halls of Amenti there, even though we have some legends that try to depict it that way. The real earth, that you have to go within is the self, because the body is said to be the earth, right? But Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth, spirit clothed with soul, made in the form of Allah. So when you go into this earthly body, is not the master the highest more honorable than its walls? Spirit in man. That's the Khalifa that was placed in the earth, mentioned in the Grand Quran. That's the vicegerent of the Grand Quran. Khalifa al-Insan. Insan, the perfected man. That's the Lord of the plane and soul, and Lord of the plane of things made manifest that we're referring to. That's the caretaker, the vicegerent. Yeah. So, yeah, once we understand that, how can we go wrong? So if that don't reveal to the people they sinful ways, then what will? There's a conflict that's going on that can't be told in corner words. But like I said, the halls of Amit has to do with the underworld, because the underworld is beneath that in which you see with your carnal eyes. This is where observation come into play. This is the reason that we deal with topics that have originated from what they like to call STEM. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. We know that science is the basis of creation. Science derived from observation, philosophical thought that actually derived from spirituality in the beginning. They use the word olam in what they call the Hebrew language. And this is dealing with the science of life, the workings of life on all levels, science, technology. There's a divine technology within you that transcends any technology Rome can muster when it comes time to produce something. Even though you think it's fancy to have your little iPhone, you think it's fancy to have your computer and your Tesla cars and everything, there's a technology that is at the essence of our being that is even greater than that. Divine nanotechnology. But that's a whole nother measure. DNA, divine nature of Allah. Let's go a little further. So the engineering process has to do with a creation process. How is it that you were made? How were you engineered? We already know who made you and how you was made, but we have to ask our question. Where did we come from? Where we going? We are made in such a way fearlessly and marvelously, family, to the extent to where, in all actuality, again, you can see a grander technology within us than anything that man can invent on the plane of things made manifest. In fact, when man tried to invent things, he ended up going back to the microcosm to come up with ideas. Even in a vehicle, a car, there's a brain, a computer that functions. There's an oxygen system within the car. You see? There's the heart of the car. And we can go into other different aspects and say the same thing. Everything is based off of you and the creation, family. Make no mistake about it. Even an engine has the turn based on cycles. And at a certain cycle, that engine may die. Then what you got to do, you got to replace a new engine to create a new cycle. When it comes to dealing with your soul, you was only given one soul. But you come through cycle ages. Man tarries there, at a particular point in time and moves on to the next until he has perfected himself. Look at that divine ingenuity when it comes to engineering us. Carnal man still ain't caught up with it yet. Let's go a little further. Mathematics. Mathematics, everything. Mathematics is the language of creation. Mathematics, is said to be the most accurate and perfected when it comes to dealing with what we call language. Because when you can't depend on nothing else, you can depend on the mathematics of things. Powerful measure, family. And we actually demonstrated this when we dealt with the seven. Understanding how we come through various stages of unfoldment. What does it mention? Spirit man. What? Plane of spirit, plane of soul, plane of things made manifest. Angels govern the heavens, family. And we know angels are the thought of Allah manifested in human flesh. Same thing as spirit, man, and prophet. Angels govern the heavens. Muftis govern the earth. So, with that being said, family, we just want to say gratitude, and may we all have some greater insight as a result of what it is that we demonstrated But at this time, we're gonna go ahead and open up the floor because I said everything that would need to be said, and mashallah, we're gonna move forward to hear from our family and their Moorish wisdom. But what I'm gonna do so that our family can all hear what's going on, I'm gonna switch the apparatus now and get on the phone and allow our family to be able to speak through that, and then we can hear our family. So praise be to Allah. I'm calling in now. And once we get done, we're going to open up the floor. So
Welcome,
be ready to
and
start.
thank you for choosing free conference. Please enter the meeting password.
Okay.
Muted. The recording has started.
Okay, there we go. Pardon that background noise, Moors. All right, Moors. Hold up.
Unmuted.
All right, Moors. The floor is yours. Islamism without the schism.
Gratitude. Yeah, like I'm coming through online. That should suffice, right?
Yeah.
Islam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That'll be right, Brother Marvin Ellsbury. Islam, Sister Curta Bay.
Okay.
All is well.
Islam, gratitude. That engineer Curta Bay, I won't be long. God, man, gratitude for letting me share. This gracious, Dr. Shahid, this was a powerful, mind-shifting class. Oh, my goodness. Wow, I've been writing, trying to keep up with you. I tell you, definitely got to go back and listen to the playback. Honors has already been given, and your title coming from ayat 10. Oh wow, you really opened this ayat up. But in their image, man was made, and he who looks into the face of man looks at the image of Allah, who speaks within. And just briefly, some of the things that really, really stood out to me is especially when you talk about, and I know this, but it's like I'm getting a deeper understanding when you talk about, spirit man, that how we are made in the image of Allah. But you talked about how the physical man, the Elohim, made us, and how the physical man was made in the image of the Elohim. And you also talked about, that was mind-blowing and mind-shifting too, when you talked about, if you want to look at it from the perspective how, they talked about the woman was the first one that gave birth and everything, and how you went back to Genesis when it talked about how Allah took the real from the man and made the woman, and I always wondered about that, and you broke it down how it really wasn't from the rib or the bone of the man, but it was coming from the marrow that flows through the bones, that marrow in the bones. Oh man, that was just so powerful to me. And like I said, definitely got to go back and listen to the playback, and also how you just tied those scriptures in, and it took me back to our ears class. How you talked about how it's how we would say the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. And I remember I used to say that all the time, and but didn't have a revelation, and not even knowing. But I know now where they got that from, because see, that's our teachings coming from our ancestors, and now I know how Alexander went in there and stole our teachings and stuff. And then they come back and redid it and plagiarized it and give it back to us through that Bible. But they couldn't understand. They couldn't understand the essence of our teaching. They went in there and stole it, but they couldn't understand it. And you talk about the nature, how you talk about how Adam was taught the nature of the thing, and just looking at them like they told us in the Palestine area. You said Adam in the Palestine area, it said that he named all the animals, and I was just amazed at that. But you broke it down tonight and let me know that it really says that Adam was taught the nature of those things, and we learned that in the process. I mean, in our EOS class, how our ancestors, when they was reading the metanetta, reading them the hieroglyphs on the wall, how you had to go to the essence of those things, and yet the European would come and talk about those was alphabet. Oh man, you just took me back, God man. You took me back so far, and so much information that you gave us. And last but not least, because I know Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, gratitude, God man, for letting me share that acronym that you gave for man, master of Allah's nature. Oh wow! When you meditate on that, and you are the master of Allah's nature. Oh wow! That says a lot, God man. That means it made me think about how Haru, when you see the picture of him in that boat, and he got that spear, and he's leading APAC. That old snake is up under the boat and carrying the deities in it and things of that nature. It's showing you how Haru, he got that spear in that boat, but it's showing you he has mastered he is the master of Allah's nature. In other words, he was in control, and that's what we are striving for. And like I said, God man, this was such a powerful mind shifting class. Definitely got to go back and listen to the playback. Gratitude, Dr. Marvin Evans Bay, for letting me go. Gratitude, God man, for letting me share. Wonderful, powerful class. Islam.
In Islam, Sister Curta Bay, for that draw. We give honors to you for all it is that you do. Praise be to Allah. Islamism without the schism. Gratitude. Islam. Well, all right. Islam, Moors. Is there any other Moor who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? Let the world know you're alive and active. All right. I know our brother Marvin Edwards Bay was trying to get in there earlier.
Islam, can you hear me okay over the line, over the internet?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, but the Moors
should be able to hear you. Morris, can you hear brother Marvin Edwards Bay?
I don't think so, because I don't think
The Moors on the conference call should be able to hear you, because Sister Curta Bay was just speaking through the conference call.
Right, I know, and she sounded like she heard me, but
yeah, she heard you.
Okay, all right then.
Can y'all hear brother Marvin Edwards Bay speaking Moors? Hold on real quick.
Well, see, Dr. Ginger is on both lines, so she's on the line as well as on the phone. I'll go through the phone.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Not on the conference call side.
Okay, yeah. So gratitude, come through the phone, brother Marvin Evans Bay. I forgot. Yeah, we got to do that, and then everybody can hear you. Islam, grand man.
Gratitude. Yeah, I knew something wrong.
Islam.
Okay, yeah. Praise Allah. Yes, I'm Dr. Marvin Evans Bay, Consul General of Texas Territory. Praise none of stuff been given. And you know, I'm getting a double. Trying to figure out how to not to go in the other room.
You just gotta probably.
Okay, you may have. Okay, I'm gonna hang up one of these phones. Hang up that one. Okay. Well, then I'm coming through over. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway. Yeah, you gave a very powerful class, guys, man. Very powerful. And you reminded me when I first came into the government, and you used to take my hand, brother,
read me on up on top. So here we go again. And that was powerful how you broke down that rib. You know what I mean? Start with that marrow. Yeah, that marrow, that's where our blood is actually made as quiet as it's kept. So that makes perfect sense. And put it in a relationship of the woman creating man, but it was the man that, created the woman. But I'm pretty sure that we were both on the manifest at the same time. Because in spirit, there's no gender. But you set the record straight, good brother. And I appreciate that. What else? He spoke about so many things, and I did make some notes. This week, actually put in some key points. And I'm not going to try to make your whole message down, but you did a fantastic job already. Talking about the nature of things. Talking about the DNA, divine nature of Allah. Of course, that's who we are. That's where we come from. And it's our family that haven't made it to this Moorish American government to understand that concept. You know what I mean? That would get them over, so to speak, over to here, where we are, in this Moorish American government. Because, it's only one government. It's Moorish American government. You know what I mean? It's like there's only one prophet. Although that one prophet is that same spirit that came through all the other prophets. You know what I mean? He came 5 times more powerful because we were 5 times more buried, so to speak, than any people ever. You know what I mean? Because things that were done to us, well, they had to. Because we were the original people. They had to go back so far and take our lessons, you know what I mean, and discombobulate them to us. But they were discombobulated to them, but just a fraction. You know what I mean? Just 3 degrees was enough for them to do what they did to us. And we know we have the whole 360 degrees. So we just got to come together. We together, like you said. That spirit is in all of us. That's who we truly are. But we have to be conscious of it in order to be effective on this manifest. As above, so below. So this was all about. But I'm so grateful for Allah for allowing me to ascend to the level that I have through this Moorish American government. And I'm grateful to the Prophet for doing his teaching. Through his teaching, we are salvaged. You know what I mean? We are exhumed. As our Master Grand Chairman has written in his book, Noble Drew Ali, The Exhuming of a Nation. And we can see it's coming. And I can see how the Europeans are going to have to get some water, because when they start looking at the Moors come on the manifest, when they start recognizing who they are, they can't help but get some water. You know what I mean? But praise Allah for this Moorish American government. And I don't want to get too not riled up, because I'm in perfect form. I'm in perfect harmony. Because that's what it's all about. As long as we stay in harmony. When we start falling out of harmony, that's where trouble comes in. But praise Allah for sending us the Prophet and for establishing this Moorish American government so that we can be ourselves. The Prophet said, be yourself, Moors. That's what it's all about. Gratitude, God, man. I ain't gonna hold it up. Islam and peace.
And gratitude and Islam and peace to you as well, Grand Man. Islam. Gratitude, Brother Marvin Edwards, baby. We give honors to you for that. Praise be to Allah. Well, all right. Next more. Floor is still open. Breathe upon us, Moorish kin. Some of that holy breath. We know you got it in you. You mean to tell me there ain't no Moors in here that want to get a measure? Can anybody hear me on the conference call?
And we hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Well, look like we're gonna have to call our Grand National Secretary of State to have somebody pull some teeth. Islam Grand Secretary of State, who hiding on the line?
Islam, you breaking up on the conference call side, Dr. Shaheed. Islam.
Okay. Can anybody hear me calling out to our Moorish kin? Because I'm done speaking. Hold on. Okay. Give me a second here. Can anybody hear me calling? Can y'all hear me calling on our Moorish kin? Is that clear now?
The call kind of, yeah.
Okay, gratitude. So, all right, Moorish kin, the floor is open for our family. Anybody want to come forth and exercise their fire? We got plenty of time.
On the conference call side, can't really hear you clearly more. I can hear you from StreamYard.
Okay, and you already know that frequency, Grand Secretary. If we can let the Moors know we calling on them. Make sure that they can hear us calling on Islam. Islam Moors. Hold up. Islam Moors, can you hear me calling on you?
Islam, that's the grand chief. I mean, either one of the goddesses can do that.
Okay, yeah, all is well. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Marvin Edwards.
Gratitude. Yeah, I was trying to pull up my conference call app. And I can see she's online so we can request their presence or have the presence because they're already present. Oh, there we go. You have the floor.
Islam. This is Dr. Bachi Bey with the Iowa Territory. I'd like to rise and give my man praise to Allah. Understood the Prophet. Understood our theocratic government, our World Council, our flag, seal emblem, our divine constitution, Swift angels, monkeys, sister and alike. Honest to all the Moors that are here in the and the sound of my voice. Honest to you and all those who had a hand in bringing about this class. Yeah, you're going in and out, so it's kind of hard to hear. But when you're saying the title, speaking about, when you look in the face of man, you look in the face of Allah, and being the nearest place you can meet him is in the heart. That right there shows that there's a link to one recognizing the God in themselves. And this is what I often tell people. Like when I first started telling people that I'm a God, and then, that they're a God, they'll be like, you're not a God. And I say, well, in order to see a God, you got to be a God. You're not going to be able to see it if your aspects of what a God is, go sit down. Go, get on the floor. With the aspects, if you're not seeing, or you don't know what the criteria of what a God is. If everybody's looking outside themselves for a God, then looking at me, you'll never see a God. If you are dealing with a whole bunch of turmoil and pain and suffering and without, you're not gonna be able to see the God in me, because you're dealing with that right there. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a person the ability to, one, be able to shield their essence, their true essence, from the outside world. And when they say in the chakras is the grand seal. Well, the grand seal is putting that seal around yourself so that you are shielded off from whatever whatever is around you. You're not mentally, physically, or spiritually affected by those things that one goes through, and so that'll just still be the channel for the link that happens when I look in the face of man. I can see another God. It don't matter if I'm a guy or if I'm a guy and I'm looking at any other more, whether they recognize it or not, I can still see the God in them, regardless on if they can't see the God in themselves, because I know what God looked like. I done seen the manifestation. I done seen him open me up and pull forth treasures out of me. And if a lot of people still deal with that Christ insanity, as Brother Tariq used to always say, dealing with the Christ insanity, where they need an outside figure in order to look blemishless, and that they can always claim that they fall short. But if I believe, if I have this belief in something, and that's still not knowing, that's just that you came across some information. And this goes back to what the brother Cartmire Bay was saying, that going back to his measure, being tried by the fire. You got to test your God spirit out. That's why we have these trials and tribulations, so you can show the will being that comes manifested out through you. It don't matter what you go through. I just got fired Friday. We'd have messed up back and everything else. But I'm not affected by what goes on with it. That don't affect me because of that situation. I'm a God. I know how to move. I know what I am. That's just something outside. That's a variable in a situation. So when I say when I say that you gotta have that God within you to see the God, that's all Yeshoshua was telling people. It's even written in John 10:34, and Psalms 82:6. Out of the Piscean records, is it not written in your law that ye are gods? So why would I ever let some carnal world try to tear me down and say that I'm not who I am when I know who I am? I know who made me. And that's our very first question in our study guide, in our one-on-ones. Who made you? When I thought my mama made me, man, my mama and my dad made me. And no shade to them, but I was less than. But when I realized that, when I got to these lessons, and I realized, and I always knew that there was something more in me. So where was I going to go to figure it out? Well, I had to sit down. So I had to be set down, and I had to go through these trials and tribulations so that I can get the knowledge. So when I am tested, I don't go off in the same route that I did before. I'm able to think higher because now I realize that I control the plane of existence. It doesn't matter what happens. It matters, am I listening to the will that's inside of me? Not the will in Dr. Shaheed. Not the will in Constable Marvin Ezra Bay, but the will in me. Am I listening to that will that says, hey, you all right. You're going to be good. One door closed, the next door opens. You have to pay attention to the symbols and the signs. Because Allah speaks to man through man. But you got to have that willingness to hear. And not just man, but there's signs everywhere that you go. You have to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, I'll leave as I come to peace as well.
Islam and peace to you as well, grand man. That's right. Things don't happen to us. A lot of time they happen for us, grand man. Trust me, you already know that I can relate to exactly where you're coming from. Ooh wee. But Allah is leading on. Well, all right. Islam, grand man. Allah is definitely known. Yes, sir. All right. Next more. Islam. Is there any other more who would like to come to exercise their fire? All right, Grand Secretary of State, who you see on the board?
Islam, let's see. We have Dr. Justice Obey, National Assistant Grand Mufti.
Islam. All right, Moors. Brother Justice.
Islam, please forgive me, but I'm out the pants, please. Islam.
Islam, grand man.
Gratitude, National Assistant Grand Mufti. Feel better soon. How about our Consul General in the Moorish Virgin Islands, Dr. Eric Willowbay? What about 156 Bay, Consul General of Canada? Are you available?
Yeah, I'm always available.
Praise the Lord.
That's what we're saying all the time. You know, Dr. Number 156B, you know, we always raise all the great Catholic Great Craft University, another to Act 1, and our Circle 7, flag, scene, and everything. And as a family, as I said, you know, when I just first come, when I hear as a family said, you know, we're the great God are one, we're 60 million plus. And as I said, we don't even understand that, you know, like a family with 60 million plus, as I say, right now we tear apart so bad, and we're all over the place with, you know, with illness, like, you know, they said mental slavery. But it's going to take a while, as I said, to get out of that state of mind, you know, the family, because once we get out of that state of mind and put ourselves back together, as I said, when you look into the face of man, you look into the face of the great God, and that's why I said, we're the great God are one, and once we see the family, we should see each other. So, I mean, when we will go, we greet each other with that five principle, you know, over the heart. And as I said, right now, as I say, we're all over in such a way, but as we come back within this wisdom of oneness and master the self, as I divide out to the grand chief one night to that summit, our workshop of the mind, but we have to really go back and study the mind and what I've done to us, taking away from the mind and put ourselves back in that wisdom of the oneness. As I say, white is purity, purity is God, and God being ruler of the land. 60 million plus, Muslim American national. Divine family, one love.
And one love to you as well, grand man. Praise be to Allah for all your service, brother.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam was found. This is Brother Hopkins Bay from the Women's in Delaware Territory, rising and giving praises to Allah, and it hides it to His love, going nowhere to our aid. I was sitting here listening, but you spoke so well on the Assistant Grad Sheet in so many places. And the sister that came in behind you, you know. But then the last brother, not the one from Canada, but the one that's telling him how he got fired and how he explained that you can't have these outside things, you know, hinder us because that's just basically all Maya, you know, like a test. So it's just a high and divine class. It's hard to come in behind such divine people. I'm not on what that's right for me to say, but that's the truth. You know, your knowledge and your concepts are so advanced.
Islamism, brother, the love is mutual. Allah is leading on and victory is sure. Islamism without the schism. Praise be to Allah. Gratitude for your measure. All right, next more.
How about the Yehudi Bay tribe in North Carolina?
Oh man. All right. Brother Jehudi. And tribe.
Islam.
Islamism.
Islam, grand man. Islam family. I am Dr. Akula Real Judy Bay, North Carolina consulate. First, let me rise to give all praise to mighty God Allah. Let me give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Let me give honors to Moorish American government, its flag, seal, and emblem. Let me give honors to Act 1, all our officials. Let me give honors to all Moorish Americans here, there, and everywhere. Honors to all those that spoke before me. And honors to all those that will speak after me. Islam, Dr. Shaheed, this is another grand class. Pardon the tardiness. We got some issues over here. But Islam, but in their image man was made, and he who looks into the face of man looks at the image of Allah, who speaks within. And Memorial gave some grand measures, and I tell you, Dr. Shaheed, this is a powerful class. And when we, there's been so much going on in my demonstration, my journey. When you spoke about how thought is the main aspect, and when we when coming through life, like I had demonstrated last night, so many thoughts that I had, and thought, decisions that I made, choices I made along the way, thinking that they were my own. Needless to say that I quickly realized later in life that they were not. These laws and these lessons are so powerful. I praise Allah for having the ability to understand now what I should have been understanding on my journey at an early age. But time never was. So I am grateful to be able to stand here now amongst so many powerful Moors, my family, being able to understand who made me and understand the journey. When I, that looking at another man and understanding that I'm looking at the face of Allah, it helped me along the way, even though I did not know at the time or understand at the time that I was looking at Allah. I did not want to do any harm to another man. I did not want to do wrong. I give honors to my grandmother for raising me and knowing the difference between that right and wrong. And that Moorish American national, being the higher self, knowing that the higher self is Allah. Once again, I praise Allah for letting me walk in that higher self, letting me rise above those things and those decisions that I made at an early time, my head when I understanding why those things happened to me, why I bumped my head on the walls, trying to go through walls that wasn't made for me to go through. Islam and giving me the ability to grow above those thoughts, those lower thoughts. And I tell you, grand man, this here is a powerful class. I give honors to you once again for enlightening us into who we are, who we were always meant to be. Islam, Moorish American nationals, Islam. So, Islam. So I'm a pass the baton to the goddess, so she can give her blessings to our family. Islam, if that's okay, Dr. Shaheed.
Islamism, man. You know, Sekhmet always had that scimitar in her possession. Islam, grand man. Thank you, Jehudi.
Islam, family. Dr. Cat Renee, my aunt, National Secretary of North Carolina. Ooh, grand class. I rise and I give highest praises to our great God Allah. Honors to our holy and divine prophet, Noble Ali, also known as El Haj Sharif Abdul Ali. I give honors to our Moorish American government, our Moorish American flag, seal, and emblem, divine constitution and bylaws, all my Moorish kin, Act 1, our Royal Council, and all of our Moorish citizens, all of those that spoke before me, those that will speak after me, those that are in this meeting this evening. I give honors where honors are due to everything Moorish, to you, Dr. Shaheed, for always spiritual enlightening class that we have. It was kind of hard to hear you, but I did take some notes, of course, through the work of the Holy Breath. This chapter, as well as all of our chapters, is just powerful. And Allah always confirms to us that we are on the right path and that our mindset is in the right place. Even though we may stray away sometimes, He always picks us up and points us in the right direction, and always confirms to us that we have to be just with others, that Allah has put us here as a Moorish American national to show love, to let others that have not experienced love in their lives, in their families, to let them know that there is a genuine, real love in this world. As a Moorish American national, that we do have a Moorish American government. When we have the opportunity to demonstrate, it just, I praise Allah, because when we first came into the government, I wasn't fearful, but I didn't know enough to demonstrate to others that asked questions. But I knew I was in the right place, and I knew that Allah would eventually give me enough wisdom about where I am to explain and demonstrate to others. So now, when you get us started about who made us and our Moorish American government and the love that we have within
our community of Moors, and explain it to others that, you know, this demonstration is free. And you don't have to pay anyone to learn to be yourself, to go within. And I just praise Allah for where we are and knowing who made us, learning who made us, learning about our holy prophet that we had no idea about, that we had no idea that nationality was in us, that we had a bloodline that went back to the beginning of time. And these lessons that you teach, and I know a lot of times I you know, you go, you zoom past me before I can catch up, and I have to listen to the playback. But the you know, what you say, thought is the main aspect, and I find myself thinking a lot. I find myself analyzing what I say. I find myself analyzing and going within and making sure that whatever I say or whatever I do is going to be in tune with Allah, in line with Allah, and that is something that I would want, or the way I would want to be treated myself. And I always try to make sure that Allah will be pleased with the decisions that I make. And I know that I fall short. Sometimes that lower self just tries and tries, but praise Allah, we know that we have a higher self, but we have ways to conquer. We have the tools of the workshop of the mind that we can put our passions in check, and that we can hammer all these lessons in our head to make sure that we are going in the right direction. We have our 42 laws of Ma'at that we put ourselves in check, and you know, we have resources. We have resources to help us along the way. I had been challenged so much with family members transitioning left and right, a brother here, a brother there. I had 9 brothers, and then all of a sudden there's none. If it hadn't been for us being where we are in our Moorish American government, I probably would have been crazy as a Betsy bug. But Allah taught me and made me look within and helped me, along with our chairman, know that it is the call and not the cause. Just let me know, like you said, law governs all on every place. And we see that. We see that where we are is where Allah placed us. And when we got that confirmation when we were at headquarters, we prayed for confirmation that we were in the right place. And, you know, the higher self is Allah. And that higher self helped us to recognize that on CNN that very day that they showed our prophet along with Marcus Garvey on the news. Had never seen Marcus Garvey, especially our prophet, right before our face on the news. And, you know, why would we go anywhere else? Why would we go in another direction? We asked for that confirmation. Allah gave it to us. So we're sticking and staying until he tells us that this isn't it, and which I doubt if he tells us, because this is so uplifting. You know, being a Moorish American national, it makes me proud to say I am a national. I am in the bloodline of the great God Allah. I am a product. I am an attribute of our great God Allah. So I have no imperfections in the spirit, and I know that spirit man never dies. We never die. Our memories, our legacies will live on and on and on. And I praise Allah for everything that He showed us. Every step of the way, whether it's been a step backwards, sideways, or whatever. I praise Allah that we've gained wisdom from it. Islam. And I praise Allah for you, Dr. Shaheed, for all that you do. I know you spend nights up all night long working and working and teaching. So we praise Allah for you, our Moorish American government, our Moorish kin, period, all the Muslims. So peace and love to you and the family. We love you. Praise Allah for you and gratitude. Islamism.
Islamism, it's Islamism without the schism, goddess. You know, and that's the way to put the icing on the angel food cake with the scimitar. Islamism without the schism. Praise be to Allah. We give honors to all the Moors who came forth and exercised their fire. You know, and at this time we're gonna call on our officials. Starting with Sister Osset Amunel. Islam, you there, Goddess and Queen, Assistant Grand National Secretary of State. Well, all right. Let us call
Islam.
for Islam, sister.
Okay, did you call me Mom?
Yeah, I did call you.
Oh, okay. I only heard the National Grand Secretary say I wasn't sure because I'm driving. Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Okay. I have a measure, but I can't think right now. Let me still rise and give our praises to Allah and our honor to our prophet, honor to our most government, our teachers of our government and our citizens. Honor to you, God, and our national grand chief of America, that Yeshoshua, and honor to all voice kin online, and Act One, honor to our voice perspective this evening. This is the grand demonstration, praise the law, and honor to the board that brought forth their grand measures of understanding also. I'm trying to park up so I can see my measures. Okay, wrong. Okay, so let me get my measure real quick. I was listening to the part D. My measure comes from the part dealing with the bone marrow, and the essence of my understanding. What I got from it was like the bone marrow being where the blood is made, and I look at it as the river that connects every part of the body, and in looking from every part, every hidden part, the part of perfected man. It builds the essence of the human genome and creates the nature of a aligned man. And the self-mastery is the understanding of the rock on which man builds himself. And looking at it from that aspect, I'm looking at it from the divinity of Allah within us. And how everything is connected by that golden cord of love. And our prophet let us know that good is that power. And so we have to continue to be that will demonstrate that aligned man to humanity so they could understand and begin to see the God within themselves. And that definitely comes through the love that Allah has blessed us with. Gratitude more for calming forces. Love, Dharma, Moorish, and Islamism.
And gratitude for the measures, sister. Islamism. Well, all right. Let us call forth our national Grand Mufti, Dr. Khonshu Mark Herubay. Islam?
Islam,
Islam, Grand Man.
gratitude, Grand Master Collins, for we rise, giving all thanksgiving, adoration, worship, and praise to our Father God, Allah, great God of the universe, the most beneficent and the most wise, and we give the highest honors that we can give His prophet. Our prophet, the last prophet in these days and in these times, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Sheikh Sharif Abdullah Ali, the savior of humanity. We give honor to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we give honor to his government. Our government, the Moorish American government, the government in which we live, according to Act 6. We give honors to the officials of this government, our divine ministers and our swift angels, our mufti, our royal council, our secretaries. We give honor to our citizens, the Moorish Americans. We give honors to our flag and our divine constitution and bylaws, our Holy Quran, our Grand National Seal, our Grand National Emblem, our Book of Fire, the Exhument of a Nation. We give honors to everything that is Moorish. We give a special high honor to you, National Sister Grand Sheikh, the Shadur Mini Medju Shepsuel, for bringing forth this grand Moorish perspective. And we give honor to all of our Moorish kin who have spoken before us, and to our Moorish kin that will speak after us. We give honors to you, angels. Continue to give the honors where the honors are due, and honor to all true and divine prophets. And we give honor to our ancestors that have come before us, leading the way. We are them today, without doubt or contradiction, because no one has the power change man of his sin nature. Praise Allah for that. And it's been a grand class in this chapter, and in particular, this is it's a grand chapter. And when one not only learning this of a simple way, but also learning as these brought forth that when man is looking in, man, he sees a lot. When we're looking at each other, we see or recognize that Allah has created all. We all come from Allah. And that's very important because, that get rid of the big eyes and the little you. That keeps us on or should keep us on a mind state that we are brothers and sisters, that we are equal. We are all children of the Creator. And so, as any parent knows, no child is greater than the other. We love them equally. Because they all come from us. And they all are that precious. You just spent that time and energy raising these ones up, caring for them, protecting them, looking after them, feeding them, teaching them. And so, they're all important. And so we are all important to Allah. We are all fed and protected by Allah. And so that, coming to that common denominator and seeing the unity of each and every one of us in that aspect is so important, because then we can get to the aspect of caring for each other, understanding that we all going through the same trials and tests, that we're going through the same life, trying to get to the same outcome, which is back with our Father God Allah, and appeasing our Father God Allah, and living the life with the rights that God gave to us, called human rights. And so, we got to draw that to do other than that, to claim names that'll put you in a brand state of mind where you're a property and no longer on the same level as the rest of the creation, or your brothers and sisters that Allah has created. That's a sin, because Allah didn't do that. And to try to change or alter But Allah is already made and put into the order is a sin. He likes to, I won't say like a slap in the face, but the creator's like, I already created it for you, perfect. I mean, why would you need to alter it? You have to alter what I created. All you got to alter is what you're doing. Come up out of that lower self and stay in the higher self. Because if you're in the higher self, everything that I created is going to be in harmony and unison with you. As far as what is for you. And what's not for you, it's not for you. And if you respect that, then, you'll be well. All will be well. And so, those things like we find nowadays, one's always trying to alter and experiment with what Allah gave one, to create abominations and sins. And we don't get caught up in that. Let's continue to see the unity of each other, Allah in each and every one of us, and recognize that it's already there for us. All we gotta do is be respectful and stick within the harmonies of life, and it's enough for all. There's no lack; it's all abundance. So, gratitude for this class this evening. Gratitude to you, Morris America, for being here with us. Giving us your time, attention, and respect. We love you. Islam and peace.
Islamism and the love is mutual, Grand Mufti. Islam and peace to you and the tribe. All right. Let us call forth our Grand National Secretary of State, Sister Shepsu Rakat Ma'at and Putu to come and bay. Islam, you there, Goddess and Queen?
Islam, can you hear me more?
Loud and clear with divine ears.
Praise Allah. Great class. Gratitude. Islam Morskin, first of all, will rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Double Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our Moorish American government, all of our officials, staff, the angels, muftis, divine ministers, most especially our Moorish kin. Giving honor to all those Moors that spoke before me, all those Moors that will speak after me. Giving a special honor to our National Assistant Grand Secretary of State, Dr. Dendra Nia Kurtabay, for taking registration and reading our subject chapter for the week. We want to give honor to our Consul General of Texas for being at the ready always, and also to our host instructor, our National Assistant Grand Sheikh of Moorish America, Dr. Shedo Amenti, and Mohedit Shepsuwell. And gratitude, Dr. Shahi, for a grand class this evening. Our subject matter coming from Ayat 10. But in their image, man was made, and he who looks into the face of man looks at the image of Allah who speaks within. And I tell you, as my Moorish kin were speaking, also stating the same thing. There were so many blessings that you brought forth in this class this evening, and definitely a paradigm shift, because dealing with how we tend to put things in various compartments without being able to see the universal flow or the universal order of things or the oneness of the universe. When you brought forth spirit man, which is the same as holy breath, which is the same as Elohim, which is the same as the thought made manifest, dealing with the supreme reality, which is Allah. All of that was that divine chord of love, and that was so powerful. And in that particular ayat, where it speaks about he who looks into the face of man looks at the image of Allah who speaks within. And when we allow ourselves to drop down to the manifest, or allow a lower self to have its way or what have you, then in essence, that forgetfulness is set in when it comes down to, first of all, remembering who you are, being a spirit and a part of the great God Allah, and who it is that you're dealing with, also being a spirit and a part of the great God Allah. So when you keep that out in the forefront, then you're not going to be looking at your brother or sister cockeyed. You're not going to be on a destructive level when it comes down to nature or what have you, because you cause the sword to tremble in his sheath. So when the prophet breaks down these ayats to tell you what it is you're supposed to be doing, because we're here to be of service to humanity. Then of course, if you don't want to honor the flag, or you can't stand the officials, or you don't think the government is going in the right direction, looking at your brother cockeyed, so that becomes opposition to the Creator. And that's another aspect of our soul, which is dealing with reasoning, thinking. So we definitely have to bear these things in mind so that we're not continuing to demonstrate our sinful ways. Just like Yeshoshua was here to reveal to the people of their sinful ways at that time, our prophet brought us these holy and divine instructions to let us know where we were sinning at as well. And it's not just in fact of, calling ourselves these misnomers, but in our thought, because the sin lies in the wish and the desire, not in the act. So this is why it's imperative to guard our thinking. And when we are able to see Allah in everything, then we're not going to drop down to that level where we have any kind of harmful thought, because that does a harm to ourselves. So gratitude for this special class and the lessons that have been brought forth this evening, and much peace and love to all of my Moorish kin.
And gratitude for the measure brought forth from our father's treasures, and yourself, Grand Secretary of State, coming from the tribe of endurance. Speaking of the tribe of endurance, let us call forth our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Acton Pert M. Heru, Toot the Coming Bay. Islam, you there, Grand Man?
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we hear you with angelic ears. Islam.
Oh well, let me give praises to Allah then. On to the last Papa these days in time, the lesser Papa Double Dwali that was sent to bring us the everlasting gospel of Allah and everything else that we needed to save ourselves as a nation of people. Our own government, divine constitution, our own flag, the divinity, the Holy Quran. Man, he brought everything. And it's just an honor and a blessing. I'm going to extend much honor to more as we're blessed. If you're on this call, count your blessings. Count your blessings. Because it's right there in the questionnaire. Who made you? Allah don't make no mistakes. What you think you're doing here? So it's an honor to bless the more. It's a powerful class. Thank you so much, because one thing about it, I was looking at Ayah 10 and let you know that, but in the image, man was made. And who looks into the face of man also looks into the image of Allah, who speaks within. Now, that's a powerful saying right there. That's right there in Ayah 10. So, Moors, thank you. Islamism without a schism. Woo. Powerful class. Peace.
Islamism without the schism indeed, Chairman. And we give praises to the great God Allah for giving you the wisdom to manifest everything as you have, especially when it comes to our Grand National Seal and emblem, and a flag and divine constitution and bylaws and Islamism. Well, all right. Let us call forth our National Grand Sheikh, Dr. Serapis Amin Rael, National Grand Sheikh of Moorish America. Islam, are you there, Grand Sheikh? Islam, if you're speaking, Sheikh, we can't hear you.
Islam, Brother Grand Sheikh, star 6 your phone again.
I'm back.
Oh yeah, we hear you now.
You hear me now?
Oh yeah, Islam.
Islam. We want to give a lot of praise for giving us the song, gave us initial song of aspiration and inspiration, bringing us to the level of who we are and looking at this lesson, a mere reflection about Father God Allah and the fact that we see Allah, we should see everything else in His image and after His likeness, because that's what it is. He created it and we imitate it. It's a grand demonstration that we unfold and we truly are humble and peaceful because we can see the reflection of His love made manifest in every creature we see here on earth. We're just unfortunate people. What is that? Thank you. Fortunate people that we will be able to go around the earth and address ourselves for the nations of the earth, knowing that we look at these brothers and sisters as our equals. And the fact that we preparing ourselves as ambassadors and other missionary councils to look at things that go unsaid, it's been a lot. So we see, we don't know. So we know that we wouldn't be in the station that we at now, in the context of knowing where Allah's at. He's everywhere. He is in everything. We're just humble that we are able to serve with our Father, brothers and sisters, and be able to demonstrate that in love, the law, let it out in truth, and demonstrate that demonstration on peace and grasp significance of Allah's love and the love of our people. Islam. January 15, 1929. Warning from the prophet. Read never read. Everybody inform all citizens. Seeing all radical agitated speakers of work and homes on the streets. Help the peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards in your opinions. Cause confusion. Remember, your cards for your salvation. Raise your baby daughters will feel severe consequences. We offer love to you, justice, and when we offer love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, let them take a sword. Remember, our groups of citizens must turn in the guard, shut each one of every fans return to the state, behind the property, down here, everlasting movement, undivided property, of a duality, the property not right, the government's not right. Property, therefore, sending out the van, please all more to man. They do their part to get to the property. And the government, this is an everlasting movement, undivided property, of a duality, and it's the property that's not right, the government's not right. Property, therefore, sending out the van, please, draw more Samaritans, they do their part, protect their property, and the government. It's an everlasting movement, undivided property, the will of Allah, to redeem it through the fund in several ways. Islam. January 15, 1929. The young children of one father, provided for by his care. The rest of one mother has given him a child. Survival affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers. And teaching after to dwell in thy father's house. When ye separate the world, remember the relation to fight, to love, yes. Bring not the stranger for thy own blood.
brothers and their brothers to assist them. But sisters and girls will say the not. Don't tell the forces of our property. Trinity support. For its whole race and its care. And continue to you all in your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This meeting is a Christian close code and acting and by the land constitution. And love, truth, peace, free, and justice. Go in peace, boys. Tomorrow Sunday school. See you at 10 hours. Love and love. Love you, Lord. Great class. Love and love to you. Great class. Grand two. Grand class.
Grand class.
Islam, peace and love,
This
more.
session is no longer being recorded.
Islam, we love you more.
Always a good class.
Allah is leading on. Victory is sure. Peace and love. We love you, Moors. And, that's right. Gratitude. And Islam to our family out there in social media as well. Tarif Bey, Karma Ashu, look like G.A. Wise Man, Cena Renee Born Dog, Marquise the Real Player. Give honors to you, brother. Aku Jehudi Bey, Noble Bryan, Thaddeus Bennett Bey, Badi Bey, Zara Nura Bey. Man, all of y'all, Islamism without the schism. We know who made us. That's for sure. Islam, Moors. We'll see you in the next session. Constant Generals, we got a session. Islam. Peace and love.
Goodbye.